When the tweet came through that Montrezl Harrell flipped from the Clippers to the Lakers, I was shocked. This dude was supposed to get a ton of money and the Lakers have none. He must really hate the Clippers to take less from their rival. But the more that came out about this situation, the more complicated it got. This video explains the truth behind Trez flipping to the Lakers and what it means for both teams going for a title. Hey, it's Casey. Welcome to AM Hoops. Hit subscribe and notification bells for 5 videos per week, always dropping at 9 a.m. Eastern. If we have breaking news, we will have a double upload. So we're going for 100,000 subscribers by January 1st. And to be totally honest, it looks like we're trending to like 95,000, but I know if every single one of you who watches this video hit subscribe, we will get there. Montrezl Harrell is an NBA late bloomer. He was a second-round draft pick for the Rockets in 2015, which makes sense because he's 6'7" as a center. Houston tried him at power forward, but it didn't really work. After year 2 and a little more playing time, he was shipped to the Clippers as Chris Paul went to Houston. So that meant Trez went from a contender to a rebuilding team after Blake Griffin went to the Pistons. Actually though, that was the best move for his career because on the Clippers, he played a lot more off the bench, and by year 2 in LA, he and Lou Williams were a lethal pick and roll combination. That play became one of the most efficient in basketball. Trez also became one of the best transition players in the game, producing over 1 point per possession. He was good in the post offensively and defensively. His quick feet put Trez in the 89th percentile of NBA post defenders. All those numbers basically mean he was a top 3 bench player in the league, and the Clippers' depth beat the Kevin Durant Warriors twice in the playoffs. These scrappy underdog Clippers were exactly Montrezl Harrell's style. That all changed though when their success attracted stars. And this is where the trouble began. The Clippers landing Kawhi Leonard and Paul George was beyond huge. Nothing like that had ever happened to the Clippers in free agency. Every team rolled out the red carpet for Kawhi, and he chose them. The issue though was that red carpet treatment continued into the season. Obviously, load management is important, but Kawhi literally told the team when he would and would not play. They let Kawhi live 2+ hours away in San Diego, which was unusual. That commute made Kawhi late to team flights several times. And the team didn't discipline Kawhi for any of this. That rubbed some of the old Clippers the wrong way. After an embarrassing loss to the Grizzlies, here's what Trez told the media.
We're not a great team. That's number one right there. I think that's what we need to realize and wake up. You know, we're a team that still has to figure out things that we need to do to win night in and night out.
What are some things that you guys need to do to make sure this never happens again?
A lot, man. Simple as that. Not just showing up for one, you know, playing with effort. You know, at the end of the day, it's all going to come down to who wants it more. And at the end of the day, you've seen who wanted it more out on the floor.
So the "we got this" attitude on the court was the same off of it. Obviously, Montrezl Harrell felt like he had to speak up. He called out his teammates, which should be the kick in the butt they needed, right? Oh no. Trez actually got in trouble for talking. Reports said that Doc Rivers pulled him to the side and reprimanded him for going to the media saying to keep it in-house. So he got in trouble for trying to lead the team out of a rut. I have got to believe that Montrezl Harrell was behind these comments that were leaked to Stephen A. Smith.
Kawhi, there's 2 words that have been used about him: indifferent and selfish. They say the selfishness breeds from the indifference. The fact that you don't seem to prioritize galvanizing the folks around you means that essentially you're more concerned about you than anything else.
So as bad as that situation obviously was, a family issue is what really unraveled Montrezl Harrell. His grandmother died when the team went to the bubble. That not only took him away physically, but it took him down emotionally. Trez had a really close relationship with his grandmother, and it affected him big time. Dude was just not the same player in the bubble, and the Clippers collapsed as a team. When news came out that Montrezl Harrell was a Laker, I felt bad for him. He cost himself a ton of money because at one time he was supposed to get around $25 million a year, but he ended up with just about 9. And a team he once loved completely changed, so he must have felt betrayed. It was a sad end to an inspirational beginning for a team that he had to leave. But then, he said something at his Laker news conference that revealed the truth.
Did you feel like the Clippers wanted you?
I mean, that goes that goes without saying, brother. Apparently not if I'm, on the other side. Of course I still have great respect for those guys and for the organization. But like I said, as far as, if they wanted me back, obviously it just doesn't seem that way, does it?
Damn, that hurts. A guy who became a really good player on the Clippers, gave them some really good years, was basically told they didn't want him. He was kicked off the Clippers. That is harsh, but I am 100% behind that decision. There was so much noise at the end of the year for the Clippers. Guys didn't like each other in the locker room. There was massive disrespect. It looks like this move was just part of fixing that. The first thing the Clippers did this offseason was part ways with Doc Rivers, who apparently couldn't stop that drama from happening. Now, it looks like they chose not to re-sign Trez, who is apparently part of that locker room problem. If it was up to me, the Clippers would still have that blue-collar, hard-working, work your butt off, but don't show off mentality. I mean, it's what the San Antonio Spurs have. We all know how Kawhi ended things with San Antonio. If Kawhi had a hand in this move, the Clippers chose the right guy. You always choose talent over heart. Yes, the Clippers 2 years ago were a fun team to root for. Doc Rivers said it was maybe his favorite team ever to coach, but they were losers in the end. The bottom line in the NBA has got to be to win titles. Even if Kawhi's attitude isn't ideal, the Clippers have to choose him over Trez because of talent. Plus, having Serge Ibaka as a backup plan made the decision pretty easy. The Clippers signed a replacement for Trez who actually raises their ceiling. He can stretch the floor, defend even better, and is 7 feet tall. It's a sad ending for Trez for sure as a Clipper, but it's going to be fun as hell to see those revenge games. The Lakers and Clippers will be must-see TV yet again for even more reasons than last year. So, it looks like Trez was rejected by the Clippers and not the other way around, which again is really sad, but it's also another juicy storyline if they do meet in the playoffs this year.
Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a daily NBA video.